What's up, everyone? Thanks for stopping by for episode number 2 of my interviews with mainly men's clothing resellers. We have AJ tonight, better known as Picking Vintage. He
Peggy 18
of my interviews with mainly men. Sorry about that. So he sells mainly men's vintage clothing on Etsy and eBay. So let's all welcome him. And if you guys have any questions later on, save them for after the fan questions, and then I'll open up the live chat for any questions you guys might have when he's talking.
What's going on, everyone? I'm AJ. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I buy and resell mainly vintage clothing online. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. I say mainly vintage, but honestly, I'll really sell whatever I can make money off of. I sell, women's clothing when I get it. I'll sell used electronics. I'll sell virtually anything. But I got into the business. I was working full-time at an auction house here in Richmond, Virginia for about 2.5 years. And a lot of people that were attending the auctions and stuff, were selling online. And I saw a bunch of people do it. And we used to buy box lots at the end of the night and sell that stuff online and started making, I tell you, one time I bought a box lot at the end of the night and it had a sealed Walkman in it. Still one of my cool finds. I think I've only found like 2 or 3 ever, but yeah, I found one of those one night in a box lot. I think I got like $140 for it or something like that, and I think I paid $6 or $8 for the box lot, and that kind of got me going. And then the auction house gig closed up, and the auction house shut down, and I just started doing this full time, and I really enjoy it, and pretty much allows me to have a free schedule. I was at a PGA Tour event 2 weeks ago. I'm going to another PGA Tour event next week after the Masters, and I'm going to another one 3 weeks later. So I think I really just like the freedom of the business, how much of an open schedule I can have because of, the freedom it gives me. So that's kind of how I got started and why I like it so much.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. That I do love the freedom to kind of drop anything and go do whatever. I mean, we do work long hours. Like, let's not get that twisted. We put in the work and put in the time, but it almost doesn't even feel like work, honestly. Like,
sitting in front of the computer, I think, can be hard at any job. You know what I mean? Just sitting there for hours on end, typing in a listing or whatever's going on can always be difficult. But I mean, it does pay off at the end of the day. It pays off when you're sitting there drinking a beer at the bar and your phone goes off 6 times and you're like, oh, it'll pay for my tab 6 times over, So that's always nice too, though.
That's a perfect way to think about it. I actually tell my friends that when I am at the bar and my phone goes off, I'm like, well, next round's on me, guys.
That's literally how I feel sometimes too. I mean, I'm 24 years old, so I still like to go out and have fun, and I still like to drink beers and do all that stuff, but we'll be sitting at the bar some nights, my phone will just keep going off, and I'll have like, $100 or $200 in sales while we're sitting there. Even if it's $50, I'm always just like, well, that'll pay for my night,
Yeah, that's hilarious. So most of your sales, are they from Etsy or what's some other platforms that you use?
I sell books on Amazon as well. I used to do books a lot more, but honestly, I just really don't have the patience for sitting there. I have a PDA scanner, and I was a member on Reseller tool for 2 years, and I used to sell some books, but yeah, I just really don't like scanning through books anymore. I know tons of people on Instagram love it. Reezy Resells is always, preaching about books. I don't know if you guys follow him, but
oh yeah.
I just don't get big into the books anymore. I will still sell books. I still have a full bookshelf, so occasionally, I will check my prices and adapt my prices on books and CDs on Amazon, and some of them will still sell. But for me, it's mostly clothing on eBay and Etsy. I would say I get 50% eBay and 50% Etsy now. It used to be solely eBay for me. I used to sell everything on eBay. But now with the Etsy, I'm just, working on building a big shop. I think I have like 400 items active in my Etsy store right now. A lot of hats. I think I have like 198 or 200 hats, and then
wow,
200 items of clothing. And then, like I showed you earlier, and I had that little 12 by 12 hand done rug I sold for like $30 there. I saw a lot of miscellaneous stuff on Etsy too. So I would say right now it's about 50-50, 50% sales on eBay, 50% sales on Etsy. It's probably an even split.
Yeah. So AJ messaged me this morning about this rug that he sold that was essentially about the size of 13-inch MacBook screen. Yeah. And Yeah, what'd you get for like 45 bucks or something?
And, I was thinking someone paid 38 or something after shipping, but it was like 29.99, and it cost me nothing to ship. So I usually end up making money on shipping on Etsy actually a lot of times because Etsy with shipping's weird. I just always, and another thing I do is on hats. I can usually make any hat fly for 8 ounces in a box. I always ship hats in boxes, but I can usually make almost any hat fly for 8 ounces, and I'll just list it for 10 ounces. And then, that hike from 8 to 10, the first class hike, it's like you save like 46 cents. So that'll usually pay for, the fees on Etsy and everything just off of those extra 46 cents you make off of the shipping.
Yeah, definitely. But what made you actually think about picking up that rug? Because if I saw something like that, I'd be like, what the hell? Like, fuck this.
I guess for me, the reason I decided, to pick up the rug is because you can really tell when something's like hand done. If you flip over the back, if you flip over the back of a rug, the more fine like needle points you see on the back of the rug, that's like going to be a more finely made rug. So like the closer together each needle, stitches, that means it's fine done rug. So like it's hand done by someone overseas. And when I was working at the auction house, I used to see rugs all the time. I see people come in and pay tens of thousands of dollars, I don't know if tens of thousands, but I've seen someone pay 10,000 for a rug before, you know what I mean? And so I knew there was quality in it, and I just saw it, and I figured, someone will like this on Etsy because I knew it was handmade, and sure enough, I think it took like 2 weeks to sell on Etsy, but still, it was from the bins. So, I mean, that literally probably cost like maybe 30 cents. So I love those kinds of flips. That's why I love selling hats. You pick them up at the bins literally for 25 cents, and $14.99 out of 25 cents is a hell of a sale.
No kidding, dude. I want to get to that level of where I just have enough extra income where I can just drop $10,000 on a fucking rug. That's insane, man.
You're telling me, man. I've been in people's houses. That's one thing that's really motivating for me is when I was doing the antique furniture thing, I've seen people's houses and pulled some pieces of furniture out of people's houses, and their estates are just so phenomenal. Like, I've seen some things in like just the antique business, and people just be like, nothing to throw around 100,000 and stuff like that. It's like, man, one day, not yet, but one day.
So is most of your sourcing done then at the bins, or do you hit kind of?
I hit the regular thrift stores. I definitely source the bins a lot, but I definitely like to hit the regular thrift stores too. I have a regular Midlothian run right down the street from my house that I almost hit daily. Because I mean, for me with sourcing like the normal thrift stores isn't, especially in Richmond, with the vintage scene because they're around too. It's really competitive, and when good stuff gets put out, it's gone very quickly. So like, I just try to stay focused and hit like my route every single day. Like that route always will produce. Like it's like one street of thrift stores, and there's like 5 thrift stores on them. I just try to hit those like every other day at least, hopefully every day, just depending on what's going on. I take days off. I go play golf when it's nice. Like I said, I like to enjoy myself. So it's not every day, but I try to be pretty religious about it and try to hit them as much as possible still. So.
So you're from Virginia then? What town are you from in Virginia?
I'm from Midlothian. Like it's like I'm off of Forest Hill Avenue. Not that I should be saying all this, but it's like close to downtown. I'm like in between downtown and Midlothian, so it's like a pretty much prime location. I mean, I love where I'm located. There's just I have such easy access to so many different things. I can hop on 76 and hop on 95 and be in Fredericksburg in 45 minutes. I can be in DC in 2 hours. Just easy. I'm just in this very central location, and I love the Richmond area. It's just a great place to live, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you? So yeah, I see you finding all these great like vintage finds. Where do you think this is all coming from? Like, is there like a huge vintage scene there in Virginia?
I think there's definitely a big vintage scene in Richmond now because of. I mean, there's 2 shops in Richmond. One's called Rumors, and one's called, obviously a lot of people have probably heard of Round 2 by now. They kind of blew up, but the vintage game in Richmond has definitely gotten much, much larger. Like I remember back in the day, you would go to a thrift store and you wouldn't see literally, you would never see a kid my age in the thrift store, like very rarely. You know what I mean? And nowadays, when you go to thrift stores every single day, you run into 5 or 6 kids my age wearing, the Supreme T-shirts and stuff, looking for vintage come-ups. So the game has definitely changed, and there's nothing you can really do about it except for know more and try to, work harder than everyone else that's going, because there's literally is just so much competition in the Richmond area now. I mean, I go out to Florida and I go picking out there, and it's just, I guess another thing I like about Florida is I think a lot of people go there literally to like further retirement destinations, and a lot of times they just end up dying there. So it's like they go down there with all their shit and they donate all their shit. So that's cool. But yeah, I definitely think that Richmond's a hard place to pick in now because of it's not as much regular stuff, but vintage stuff. I think it's definitely gotten harder in because of the round two scene. So
has that kind of made you think about like expanding outside of the vintage scene? So like I do a little bit of both.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I don't just sell vintage, but it's like what I like to find and it's what I like to sell, but that's not what makes you money always, obviously. So I will still sell a lot of, like I was showing you before, I've got like maternity bras sitting over here that I'm going to list and sell on eBay. I mean, I look around, I got like old like Revel pieces to racetracks and everything. I mean, I will sell whatever I can make $1 off of, especially if I'm having a rough day. You know, feel like I'm not finding anything. I feel like sometimes that really motivates me to, say, hey, man, I got to look for something else I can make some money off of, or hey, I got to look for something else I can sell. But yeah, I sell a lot. I sell a lot of everything. I mean, I was selling banjos and, old electronics and stuff like that on eBay last week. And I will literally sell whatever.
Yeah, man, I've been expanding into the electronics. I don't know if you follow like Craigslist Hunter, and I think the other one's like Golden Finger
Picker. Yeah.
Yeah, those two guys. I've been watching a lot of their YouTube videos. I mean, they're killing it. Obviously, they have a little. I know Craigslist Hunter he has his own shop in Illinois, actually, like a buy and trade shop. So he has a little bit of better advantage in the sense that he doesn't have to source as much because a lot of his stuff's coming to him. But yeah, just they make a good point about you essentially need to spend a little bit more money on stuff to make a lot of money. So I've been trying to do that with electronics, especially like old like stereos, receivers, and stuff. Like Harman Kardon's a big one. I picked up a boombox for the first time. I have like a Sony boombox, and they're selling for like $100 to $200, and it's like, yes, they're big and bulky, but after shipping and stuff, even if you charge shipping, like you're still making money. In that, it's just furthering your knowledge so that you can diversify kind of across the board, because you don't want all your essentially your inventory is your investments, and you don't want that all tied up into one niche.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's another thing too. I mean, vintage is hot right now. Obviously, a lot of people are into it, but how long is that wave going to ride? How long are people going to be spending $30 on, old T-shirts and old hats online? That could be, it's trending right now, and it could be something that isn't hot in 2 years. You know what I mean? You know how fashion trends go all of a sudden. I mean, if you would have caught that Guess wave tee when they first started getting hot, and you would have bought all those Guess tees on eBay when it first got hot, if you would like have followed the market trend on eBay, you could have started picking them up for $60. And now they're going like any 180, 170. If you would have followed that market trend as soon as you started seeing it happen, you could have made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing that. So there's definitely different ways to, make money and, get good at doing something. I don't think, like I said, I don't think I'll be doing, I don't even know if I'll be selling online my whole life. I can't sell it, say right now at 24 years old. I mean, I just turned 24, sit here and say, I'll definitely be selling stuff online the rest of my life. I think I'll definitely be running a business my whole life. I don't know if it'll be, buying and selling online my whole time. We'll see what happens. That's where life takes you kind of thing. I mean, I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing right now. And like I said, I just really like the freedom it gives me more than anything. But I don't know how long, I'll be selling stuff online. I mean, like I said, I love it, but I think eventually, hopefully I'll get into doing something different. I don't know what that is yet. I really couldn't tell you, but.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Like, I know I'll be doing something with I'll be running my own business, but like, especially stuff with the internet, it moves so quickly, and you gotta be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve at all times. You gotta be, especially when you're a business owner, like self-employed, you have to market yourself. You have to do all this extra stuff. Whereas, yeah, again, if you're working for someone else, that's all done for you. But we're not here to work for anybody else. We're here to work for ourselves and bust our ass. And
I think that's the beauty of this business, is the fact that you can just work for yourself and make your own hours, even though sometimes that means you're sitting up at 12:30 at night, sitting in front of the computer screen, still doing listings. At least that's on your time, kind of thing. So that is cool. That's the one thing that I think everyone that does this really enjoys.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, you and I don't have to really worry about it right now, but yeah, I mean, a lot of our followers and stuff, they have full families, kids and stuff, and
Yeah.
they got to take care of them. It's great that they can do that, spend quality time with their family at the same time, and make a ton of money doing it. Like Nicole's in the chat right now. I know she's interviewed you before.
Hey, Nicole.
And yeah, she's killing it out there in Oregon with her husband Joe and 2 kids, and
she kills it. I mean,
I'm thankful.
She kills it, man. I mean, it's insane what she does. I look up to her and think, man, you know, I mean, they really have a system down there, and they just really kill it. It's awesome to see someone doing it like that. It's motivating to see someone else doing it like that. You know, like, wow, she's got 2 kids, a family. You know, spends all that time with her family and still kills it like that. That is super motivating. It's humbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about some of your, I guess, talk about some of your like favorite finds, or maybe finds that you find a lot. That's a lot. I'm saying find a lot, but talk about some of your favorite pieces that maybe you've sold or you're currently holding on to. Show them that helmet.
Yeah, this is kind of wild. You guys should just look at this thing. I don't know. This thing's incredible. I have not done anything with this yet, but it's like an old solid bronze fireman's helmet. I was just showing him this off, like, this is the reason, but look at this thing. It is phenomenal.
Dude, that's such an insane piece, man.
It's gonna go for auction on eBay because I literally don't know enough about it, but it's so gnarly. But
so, words of advice on auctions. I was reading an article a few years ago. Thursday nights, so tonight, you could probably list it tonight if you wanted to. Thursday nights and Sunday nights are the best times for auctions to end.
Yeah, I like to end them on Sunday night when I do the auctions. I try to set them as drafts and then just manually list them all on a Sunday for 7 days, so they end on Sunday nights. I didn't know about Thursday though. That makes sense though. I heard Monday night was too actually pretty decent. I don't know, but
yeah, I've been like moving a few of my items to auction every single day this week, just to test the market. Like, it's still hard to do that though, because if you're not listing the exact same product, you can't really compare
for sure.
One or the other. Oh, everyone's telling you to put the helmet on.
Put the helmet on? Oh, of course. No issues. It doesn't fit me very good, but I'll give it a shot for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Helmet, is it looking? Is it good? Look at that thing, man.
That is hilarious. That is great.
This thing's awesome, man. Should I just wear it for the rest of the interview or what? Like,
yeah, fuck it. I mean,
you know, that's kind of what I'm into. I think I'm too fat to button up the thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think
dude, you gotta wear that to the bar.
Dude, I was in Florida with, this is sitting here too because I still haven't listed it. But I was in Florida with my girlfriend and I found this Stetson and it's giant. And every time we went into the store, I was wearing this hat and she was so embarrassed. And I was just rocking this Stetson everywhere.
Dude, you can't rock it. That doesn't look bad on you at all.
I was just rocking that Stetson everywhere, man.
Dude, you remind me a little bit of one of my good
Back on topic, I guess. Some of my favorite finds. Well, first of all, I love T-shirts. I love vintage T-shirts. They're my favorite thing in the entire world. If you ever find cool vintage T-shirts, hit me up because I'll pay money for them too. But I think my favorite find ever, like I told Nicole, was that that rest in peace Biggie T-shirt I found. I got 354 overnight. That was like peak rap tee hype. Like when rap tees were like really hot, and that still is one of my favorite finds ever. It was just a really fun find, and it was just a really cool one. And I posted the other night on my Instagram. I don't know if you saw. I found a bunch of those Hot Wheels that I found, new in box, original from 1969, and those made me a lot of money and got me hooked. So that was a pretty cool find as well. Trying to think some of the other ones that I really enjoyed. I found 3 brand new with tags Barber jackets one time. That was a cool find. I liked any time I can find a hat worth $100 is a cool find for me because literally hats cost 25 cents for me. So I found a few $100 hats before, and that's
what. Can you talk about those hats a little bit? I know I'm not like super familiar with vintage hats. I know there's the shark tooth.
Yeah, there's certain brands to look for with hats. Logo Athletic is one. Starter is one. Trying to think of some of the good ones. Sports Specialties is a good one. Another one brand called The Game is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of different. This style hat right here, just because I have a bag of them. This style of hat right here is called a script, and there's certain styles. Like this is a corduroy redskin script. It's not really super desirable, but there's certain scripts that go for, you know, the good ones 200, 250, you know, for a single
Yeah,
hat.
what's
And
that
then,
one? Do you follow Eat Sleep Thrift?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he has that what Cavaliers like Houndstooth or
That's
I
called
forget
a
what they call
heather.
it.
Yeah, that's called a heather. Actually, back in the day, they made some hats in that heather colorway, which is a gray, because they didn't want sweat stains on their hats, so they were for working out. That's the reason they were in that heather gray, but they're extremely rare. There wasn't that many of them, and so now they're like sought after by collectors in that heather gray. They do look pretty cool, but that's the reason, those, because they were made for like fitness and working out back in the day. So when you wore them, you didn't get as bad sweat stains on them. So
Oh, and yeah, learn something new. I didn't know that. Hopefully,
yeah.
I'm assuming that a lot of people in the live chat didn't know it either. I just sold a vintage hat on Grail. It's a Nautica piece though. It's actually pretty nice. I've never.
So well though now. Nautica's so hot right now because of the little Yachty, I guess, thing. You know, because of the little
Oh
Yachty.
yeah, so I was curious why it got hot. It was like Nautica.
Yeah, that rapper Little Yachty. I don't know if you ever heard the song Broccoli. That was like, I guess, his most famous song. And when he got famous,
Oh yeah, I would.
he was in that
I would.
Sprite commercial with LeBron James too. So I guess that kind of like brought him like more fame. But yeah, that's probably the reason that like Nautica, because I think Nautica is redoing the line right now. Like they're bringing back the line, and he's like the face of the new line or whatever. Nautica's like redoing that line, remaking a bunch of stuff, and he's like the face of that line of clothing now.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. A lot of companies are doing that. I know Ralph Lauren's bringing back that 1992 collaboration, or the Olympic pieces.
Yeah,
soon, right?
And Guess did that with ASAP. They brought back the striped tees and did the dollar sign at the end of the Guess.
Yeah.
And so like the ASAP Rocky Guess tees got really hot, and then the striped Guess tees got really hot, and then it's all about trends in the fashion world, especially in the vintage world. When something gets hot, it literally can happen overnight. You know, Kendall Jenner or Kylie Jenner or one of them puts on a t-shirt like Kanye West, the next thing you know, price is double. It can literally happen like that.
Yeah, I know one of the Kardashians is wearing a vintage Tommy Hilfiger piece. That they need to come out with bring back some of their stuff, because some of their stuff was insane. Like their color blocking stuff and their spell outs are insane.
Yeah, Tommy definitely did some cool stuff back then. I mean, so did Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren, some of the color schemes that Ralph Lauren did back in the day, in my opinion, were just so awesome and catchy looking. You know what I mean? But Tommy and Ralph Lauren both did some really cool stuff that I guess nowadays you just don't see it as much. You know, back then it was like cool and edgy, and you know, people were doing it. But now it's just, you don't see those same colors and stuff as much, and that's why people, you know, pay up so much for vintage pieces a lot of times.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I'm not personally, I would never rock any of this stuff, so I'm which makes me kind of happy, because it's like I could probably have a crazy ass vintage wardrobe, but I'd rather have the money in my back pocket.
I like wearing shit that when I wear it out, people look at me like, what the hell is that kid wearing? I like wearing that kind of stuff. So,
dude, I'm starting to dig some like vintage like wilderness tees. The colors on those are insane usually. And just, you know, you got the big old wolf heads with the crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
I like wearing anything that, like, if I'm wearing it and someone's gonna be like, what the hell is that kid wearing? Like, I'll wear it. Like, I wear like the MC Hammer parachute pants back in the day. I'll rock those out, no problems.
Dude, what's those pants that all the NFL football players wore?
Oh, the Zubaz pants.
Yeah, I knew it started with a Z.
Yeah,
dude,
they look like tiger stripes.
You need to bring those back, man. Those.
Yeah, I had a pair of those. I had a pair of those actually when I sold them. They were the Redskins colors, and I'm not a Redskins fan, so I wore them a couple times, but then I sold them. I have an Oakland Raiders pair right now around here somewhere right now. It's so sick, man. It's in this room somewhere. I don't know if it's in that bin, I think, over there. They're super sick, man. They're like all over print Raiders, and they're gnarly.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm the only reason I'm a sort of Redskins fan is because of Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you're a Cousins fan. Well, he came out in the starter jacket. You saw that, right?
No, I don't think so. So he used to live. So we were at Michigan State together. He actually lived right next to me in the same apartment complex with all the offensive linemen. So
really, that's sweet.
We'd see him a lot. We'd be throwing big ass parties for the track team, and then they would all be sleeping. But yeah, he never partied. He's a good Christian boy. So
at least you can say you kind of know Kirk Cousins.
yeah. I've said hi to him a few times, but yeah, that's about it. All right, so let's open it up. So I reached out to a few other resellers on Instagram for some questions that they might have. I don't know how familiar you are with Levi's, but Cindy Reseller on Instagram asks, what is considered vintage for Levi's brand? Or like, if you know enough about it, can you tell us like what?
Right, so let me put it to you this way. Big E Levi's, Big E. If you ever see a pair of Levi's and it has a big E underneath the first letter L, all the modern Levi's have a smaller letter E. I don't quote me on the exact date. I believe it was like in mid 60s, I believe. They stopped doing the big E and they went over to everything the smaller E. But that's the best Levi's you can find. The best pair you could find would be like a 50s selvage denim big E Levi. That'd be the best pair you could find. There's only
so is the E capitalized, or is it just like a large?
I've only found 3 pairs ever. I don't have a pair right now I could show to you, but if you look it up online, literally the big is an uppercase letter. Is an uppercase letter instead of a lowercase letter on modern Levi's. I'll tell you like this though, and you guys can take this for what it's worth, but there's only so many pairs of those good vintage big E Levi's out there, right? And I think vintage denim is going to get really hot. So after that, there was orange tab Levi's, and they have an orange tab on. And so I think the price on those orange tab Levi's is going to start getting a lot higher over the next few years because there's only so many good pairs of Levi's out there to be had. People find old 50s, 60s Levi's a lot. And I would say a lot. People find them. They go up for sale on the market. But the demand on vintage denim is going to go up in the next couple of years, in my opinion. And the next best thing after the big E Levi's is the orange tab.
And so I actually have a pair of those. I might go take those down because they did look vintage to me, but they had the orange tab on them, and I was like, I don't know, I'll pick them up.
They did the orange tabs they did a couple different orange tabs. They ran it for a while, but the earlier orange tabs, I really do think the next couple of years are going to start doing more money because, like I said, I think vintage denim is going to be a thing for a while, and there's only so many good pairs of Big E Levi's on the market. And the demand is going to be too high, and I think the next best thing is going to be the orange tab Levi's. So we'll see if that happens. I could be wrong. You know, I mean, I'm no genius, but I mean, I do believe that will happen.
Yeah, your guess is as good as anyone else's.
I mean, who would have told you that? Who would have told you 20 years ago that, $5 T-shirts that they were selling on the corner of, not so wealthy parts of town were going to be worth hundreds of dollars on eBay, like bootleg rap T-shirts are going to be worth $500 on eBay. You know what I mean? Who could have went back in time and predicted that was going to happen? I mean,
I wish my parents would have predicted it and then stockpiled them for me.
Exactly. I wish I could go back in time and buy old guitars from before I was even alive, and then vintage rap tees. Like, why? I don't understand, but.
All right, so the next question is actually from a good friend, Monica, aka the Podge Hanger. She's actually in the live chat right now. She had a few questions that she wanted to ask. So the first one: what has been your hardest obstacle since turning to full-time reselling?
My hardest obstacle. I think for me, my hardest obstacle is not having a boss that's constantly telling me what I need to do all the time and keeping me on task. I mean, I'm pretty good at task management, and I feel like I do a decent job on, staying pretty goal-oriented and stuff like that. But I think for me, the most difficult problem is probably just not having someone there every time I'm not doing work or not doing what I should be, and, sitting downstairs and watching the Masters all damn day. I should be sitting up here doing some damn work, So I think that's probably the most difficult thing for me, honestly, is being my own boss, even though I love the freedom sometimes, just having to say, God, I need to get off my ass and go do some damn work. So that's probably
Yeah.
the
So
most difficult thing.
when I watch TV, I'll have my laptop set up and I'll just be listening while I'm watching TV. Especially sporting events, like you don't really have to watch them that close enough.
Especially golf. I mean, I'm a huge golf fan, but you literally can't. I mean, I have PGA Tour Live on my laptop, so I can just sit there and do listings, and then still have other things. So that is something I easily do, and I do all the time. But I get distracted pretty easily sometimes.
Yeah, I feel you there. I'll hold my tongue on my opinions on golf then, since you're such a big fan.
I love to play, so I mean, I used to play football and growing up, played baseball growing up, but now I just love playing golf.
Good. It's a good business sport. That's definitely
it is. Sure. A lot of deals get done on the golf course. That's for sure.
Exactly. Yep. Hear you there. All right. The next question is: so if you had the chance to start over fresh in this business, the reselling world, what do you think you would have done differently?
I probably would have jumped big into the Amazon thing and said, you know what, I'm going to do Amazon more than I would have done eBay. But the thing about that is I don't enjoy selling new products on Amazon. I'm not really passionate about that. I mean, I know making money is everyone's passion. And I mean, that's something everyone loves doing, is making money. But I like finding and selling vintage clothing. That's what I feel like I'm more passionate about. But if I could go back, in time, I think I would have probably said, hey, I should put more time and energy into the whole Amazon thing and get into some more retail arbitrage, because I mean, there's so much money being made in that. And not that it's too late for me to get on board. I mean, like I said, I've been selling books and CDs on Amazon for almost 2 years now, but I wish I would have probably got more and invested more of my money into, buying stuff at wholesale and, stuff like that. That probably would have been something I wish I would have done more, thinking back on it now. But hindsight's 2020, and I guess you can only do so much, but I would have enjoyed to get more into the Amazon thing for sure.
Yeah, I remember, because I've been selling part-time. So I went full-time last January 2016. And I remember back in like 2008 when I started selling, like I didn't understand Amazon at all. Like I tried selling some stuff and I was like, I was so used to eBay and having to take all your own photos and stuff. Like it was foreign concept to me that you just scan a fucking barcode and it pops up and you suddenly can just list it. You don't have to add any photos. It's already added for you. For the most part, any product you scan is going to be in Amazon's system. Yeah. And I wish I would have jumped on that, because if I would have joined in 2008, I would have been grandfathered into a lot of brands.
Yeah, and there's so much fun gating and stuff. I mean, the way Amazon works now, I mean, of course you can still put in the time and effort and grow a great Amazon business. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from doing that. It still can definitely be done. So I don't want to say anyone shouldn't try that, because let me tell you something, there's people that are jumping into it still today making tons of money. There's still tons of money to be made in it, because I mean, realistically, I know, heck, you can type in your groceries on Walmart now and go pick them up at the store. They're all done for you. I mean, everything's about convenience nowadays. And I mean, it's all going to that. Amazon's just going to, I mean, what the Amazon CEO is the second richest man in the world now. I saw the other day on Forbes. He's the second richest man in the world. It's crazy. I mean, Amazon's taking over. The Amazon revolution is obviously already happening. So it's definitely
So my biggest worry about Amazon, well, I think Walmart, once they figure out their e-commerce side, and they just bought Jet.com last year, which was kind of a comparable website to Amazon. I think they were actually cheaper than Amazon. At the end of the day, actually, Walmart's the cheapest out of any website you can go to. It's just they're trying to figure out their supply chain with getting shipments out and setting up that. But once they do, I think they'll compete pretty hard with Amazon. And Walmart now allows third-party resellers on their website. I'm not sure of the process on that.
I've seen that actually, because you can like go on Walmart.com now and you can buy like Air Jordans and stuff like that, and obviously that's something that Walmart never has carried in their stores. So obviously that's being fulfilled by a third party. Sorry, I have the burps right now, so I'm like kind of burping, but
no, you're perfectly fine. The other thing that I personally believe Amazon's moving towards, they have the perfect setup right now on gathering information. Like they have all of these third-party sellers on their platform and they don't have to worry about holding any of the inventory outside of FBA, obviously. But there's really no money or there's no personal money outside of the warehouses. But what they're doing is gathering all this data, and essentially, at some point, they can just cut out all the third-party resellers, find out exactly what sells for, how much it sells for, how much of it sells per month, per day, whatever, and then they can go directly to the supplier and be like, hey, I want to buy 1 million units at this price. You're idiots if you don't sell it to me because I'm trying to buy 1 million of your products. And then they'll essentially just run standalone as themselves. Amazon will be fulfilled by Amazon on everything.
Amazon's, like I was saying earlier, I mean, Amazon really is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, Amazon just has so much money and so cool right now in the industry that it's going to be tough to mess with Amazon. I mean, literally. eBay, you know, is trying to do so I guess you've seen the guaranteed delivery date or whatever on eBay. I guess they're trying to, you know, get into like faster, because if you have Prime, it's like they do the guaranteed delivery date on Amazon as well. So I think that's something that hopefully eBay and, you know, still hangs around. I think there'll always be a market on eBay no matter what, because you can get so many more things on eBay that you can't just go on Amazon and buy. I mean, you can't go on Amazon and buy this helmet. You know what I mean? You can't go on Amazon and find that. It's not something you're going on Amazon to buy. So I feel like there'll always be a market for, you know, things on eBay and Amazon both, but Amazon really does have the game so locked down right now. I mean, everyone you talk to that's my age, oh, just go on Amazon and buy it. Just go on Amazon, buy it, you know. Amazon Prime it. I got an Amazon Prime membership, you know. So
that's why I dumped a decent amount of money into their stock last year, right before one of their earnings reports, because I knew they were going to kill it on it. So I sold off most of my Roth RIA that I was invested in other companies and dumped it all into Amazon. So I got in at like $7.35 a share, and it's now trading close today at $8.98.
Good.
So it's I'm hoping they split soon. That way I can get back in a little bit more, because, like, yeah, obviously $900 a share is not. A lot of people aren't getting in at that anymore. The normal poor men like us.
One day, right?
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, so one last question before I open up the live chat questions. Kind of off topic, kind of funny. From Mackenzie, huge fan apparently. What is the last gift you gave someone?
What is the last gift I gave someone? Actually, yesterday, I guess I was at the bins in Fredericksburg, and I found a Victoria's Secret like silk one size robe, brand new with tags, and my girlfriend likes silk robes. So when she got home yesterday, I just gave her that, and she was happy about it because it was pink and she liked it. So that was the last gift I gave.
There you go, Mackenzie. Your question has been answered. All right, so I'm gonna pull from the live chat real quick. The first one is by Steffi. What platforms do you sell on? I'm pretty sure you answered that for the most part. I don't know if you
Etsy, eBay, and Amazon. Like I said, most of my sales are on Etsy and eBay, but I do still sell, and I think I have like right now like 186 active items on Amazon, which really is nothing. But occasionally I'll sell a book or two, and I mean I'll add books every now and then too, but mainly eBay and Etsy.
Okay. The next one's from Kareem. He says, have you ever came across those Ralph Lauren windbreakers with the big polo on the back? And if you have, how much did it sell for?
The windbreaker. I know I've sold a jacket with the big pony on the back before. It was a green one, an Italy one. I think I sold it for like $69.99. It wasn't a vintage one. It was a newer one. It was like the big polo green Italy one. I find a lot of the regular polos and regular t-shirts and stuff like that with the big pony on them, but I haven't sold that many jackets. I think I've sold that one green Italy one with the big pony on the back. I haven't sold too many of the big pony jackets. Now looking back on it now, I've sold the USA like Olympic one a couple times. Shirt.
Yeah, I love finding the Ralph Lauren USA.
Yeah, the big pony. I have the jacket one time. It was a green Italy one. Yeah.
All right, so the next question is from Patty. She wants to know if you have noticed any possible upcoming popular vintage clothing fads. And to kind of piggyback off on that question, who do you look to / where do you go, like either websites, maybe people you follow on possible fads or trends that are going to happen?
Right now, honestly, I think there's one person that's a really big driving force in like the vintage clothing community. He's from Richmond actually originally, but he's got like 300,000 followers on Instagram now. His name is Sean Witherspoon or Wotherspoon on Instagram. And he started the whole champion reverse weave hype back in the day when it first started. I mean, honestly, I think he's really contributed to the Guess jeans hype. I can't tell you for sure right now what's going to be the next one. It kind of literally, when the stuff gets hot, it can literally happen, you know, in the course of 2 or 3 days, something gets hot and it'll start selling like crazy. But definitely follow Sean to keep up with a lot of the trends, because when something gets hot, he's usually on it very quickly, and he'll keep you posted on what's hot almost always. So I'd say definitely follow him. I'm trying to think about something that I think personally is going to be hot this summer. Let me think on that for a minute. I might get back to that in a minute.
Yeah, I know you're talking about denim. I know denim's hot, like denim anything. Like I started picking up denim shirts, and it like doesn't matter the brand. You're still looking, like if it's a low end brand, you're still looking at 20.
I have sitting around my desk because I have no organization. But peep this. This is on it. This is mine. I picked it out of the bins, but this is on a denim Hard Rock Cafe, like Orlando, button up. But it's got that huge mural on the back, and it's dated 99. It's so sick. Yeah, it's dated 99 on the back of it.
Dude, that's sick. I love the more vintage pieces that always have the date underneath the picture. Like all Davidson has that.
I mean, I love
finding
finding anything with the date on it. I like, this is like that's random, but I'll find like Michael Jackson t-shirts got hot for a long time. And that's from like 2009. And they were bringing like.
Dude, Michael Jackson t-shirts sell like crazy on Grailed. Like, I sold a Michael Jackson Thriller t-shirt for like 50 or 60 bucks, literally 3 minutes after I posted it on Grailed.
Debating on keeping or not. But.
Dude, that's sick.
And it's got and it's a good one. This is like what people want, the shitty quality. Like, look at the tags on the inside. Like, hot fashions, extra large. And it's got like. All the that was something that I found. These are 2 pieces that I'm debating on keeping for myself because I like wearing cool stuff too. But yeah, I may keep those. I may sell them. So they're sitting on my desk while I sit there and look at them, decide if I want to keep them or sell them.
What I do on pieces that I'm debating on like selling or keeping, I'll throw them up anyway and just put like a pretty crazy number on them.
And then if it sells, you're not mad at yourself because you got big money. I like
exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nicole has a question, actually. She goes, how do you deal with lowball offers, if you do even accept offers, or if you do or best offers on eBay?
Most of the time, if it's a terrible offer, I'll just decline. I won't even respond with another offer back to them. If it's a terrible offer, I'll just decline right away. And that is one thing within the vintage clothing scene that I will say. I mean, I haven't had a lot of problems, but kids that are buying vintage clothing a lot of times sometimes aren't really the best, especially if it's auctions, man. They don't pay. Like if you're selling women's shoes or something like that, those people pay immediately. But when you're selling like vintage clothing or vintage Tommy Hilfiger, a lot of times these kids are bidding and then they realize, oh, it's $65. I don't have $65 to spend on this. So like they don't pay. I don't know if you ever noticed that either. Because like it really is true. Kids my age, I'm not saying, you know, everyone my age doesn't have any money or they're all broke, but like kids, like a lot of times will bid on something, then realize they were either out drinking beers or, you know, out hanging out with their friends. Oh, I'll put a bid in on this, and then they don't pay, or they make you an offer you accept, and then they don't pay. That does happen a lot with the vintage clothing. I just feel like it's because of the group of people that I'm targeting. Just sometimes they don't feel as bad about making an offer and not paying. So that does happen a lot. But if I get a really bad offer, honestly, a lot of times I'll just deny. I won't reply back to an offer. I'll just deny right away, and that's all there is to it. Because I don't feel like going back and forth with someone over $5 or anything like that all night. I'll just deny an offer. If they want to come back with a better offer, they can come back with a better offer. You know, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely in that same boat. It's funny though. The worst type of person is the person that gives you a solid offer, you accept, and they literally message you like 3 minutes later. Oh, I didn't realize this was a large. I actually need a small.
Oh, that's the most
like,
common excuse. That's the most common excuse.
So what I do, I usually just ride it out. Like I'll let the unpaid item case open and everything. I'll get an angry email and I just ignore the emails, messages that they send. It's like, dude, you did not read this wrong, because first of all, it's in the title, it's in the description, and then it's written out in the description with the measurements on it. Like, you just don't want to pay for the item. So you're going to get hit because you're going to fuck over someone else later on down the line. And if you get enough of these, then you get kicked off, and it's going to clean up eBay. In my opinion.
3. I think it's 3 on eBay, right? 3 unpaid item cases. Is it 4?
I think it's 3. It's got to be 3 in 1 month, though. Like, it's not 3 overall life.
I think it's 3 in 1 month. I think that's how it works. Anyone in the chat, live chat, want to answer that question? I guess I'm sure Nicole knows. I think it is 3 in 1 month is how that works.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. So, what's your opinion on FUBU pieces?
FUBU's been getting hotter. I like the football jerseys and the baseball jerseys are hot, and so are the hats. If you find those, I definitely get them. The windbreakers are selling pretty well too right now. I haven't found any recently, so I think I've sold like 2 things of FUBU because I haven't found any recently. But yeah, the football jerseys and the baseball jerseys, they've been getting hotter, so I would definitely pick those up if you find them. Another random thing like that kind of is Juicy Couture is selling really well again. I don't know if you guys knew about that brand or whatever. The 2-piece Juicy sets and everything that are women's are like making a comeback. I think one of the Jenners might have wore one of those too on like an Instagram picture or something like that, and that's one of the reasons. I think I heard that. But yeah, the Juicy Couture is coming back. But yeah, the FUBU baseball jerseys and the football jerseys, I think they're doing pretty well again. So I definitely, if you run across one, I'd type in on them. I tell people this all the time. If you're unsure on something, if you have an iPhone or any 3G enabled device, it takes all of 20 seconds to hit refine, sold listings, and check a price. I do it all the time, even though I've been doing this for 2 years full time now. I still check all the time. I'll pick something up. I can recognize quality. When I am in a store or something like that, I'll see something. I'll this is quality made. This is this is something that has some quality to it, and I'll just type it in on my phone. Get instant feedback. That's the awesome thing about having a mobile device. You see people there's guys that go to my flea market and pick all the time, and he just talks about how much the cell phone has ruined the game, because literally you can just it's instant. I mean, he's been picking for so long.
Sorry to cut you off real quick. Can you go back and repeat what you said, that you, instead of going and asking someone else, you do what? You look on your phone and look up comps? I'm just trying to get that point across for kind of the newer resellers, that
sold listings,
these people that you regard as these experts on reselling, we look it up all the time. We look up comps, and that's what you got to do. And that's going to be a lot quicker than actually reaching out to us on Instagram and stuff. I'm not saying that I dislike it, but I've seen it.
And I'll tell you, I've gotten a lot of good questions from people that they've shown me stuff that I can't find comps on, and I might have seen it before in the past, and I was able to help them out. But it is so easy. I don't have a WorthPoint account. I don't know if you do. Do you have a WorthPoint account?
No, I've never heard of it.
I don't have a WorthPoint account, but if you have a WorthPoint account, they have every sold listing on every outlet ever for that item. So you could type in something and see sold listings from 4 years ago. But yeah, it literally takes 20 seconds. Always too. Another thing is a lot of people will get on their phone and see what people are asking for stuff. I always like to make sure I'm refined into sold listings. I want to see what stuff's sold for. People actually got paid on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. People oh, this is worth $500. No, this is what this person is asking for. Sold show $200, so it's worth $200.
It's worth $200. You might be able to sit on it and get an offer of $300 if you sit on it for 3 months, but I want to know what I can turn around and sell it for. Now when I'm going to sit on eBay and ask for 9 years, So
exactly. I do enjoy getting messages about some vintage items though, because I'll straight up make an offer to them.
Get some deals sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I had one person shut me down pretty quickly, and it was actually on a very fire. It was this jacket actually, but in gray. I've not seen the gray colorway come up very often. So she saw it, and she had an $11 price tag on it that she picked up at the thrift store. And so I was like, hey, I'll buy it off you for $45 right now. And she was just like, no, I think I can get more. And I go, yeah, I know you can get more, but I'm gonna offer you 4 times the amount you paid for it right off the bat without any fees or any work at all. Like,
and I mean, I've even been a sucker sometimes. Just like I pick something up quick and I post it on Instagram, and it's just a picture on Instagram, and someone messages me an offer. And I mean, sometimes I know I could get a little bit more, but if they're right there ready, and I don't even have to take any pictures, I don't have to list it on eBay, they're ready to pay, friends and family, gift, I'll take the money and run sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it's instant.
Yeah. Like, so how my process is so that I cross post a lot of items.
Yeah.
So on like the more higher end or like my normal bread and butter items, what I'll do, I'll take photos of it with my DSLR camera, but at the same time on those apps like Poshmark and Mercari where you can't list from your computer, I'll take photos of it right on there and post them, and I'll be done with the item. But I'll take lower offers on Poshmark and Mercari before it's posted on eBay because I don't have to take that extra time to post it on eBay. And it's like, at some point you need to value your time over an extra $5.
Absolutely. That's why sometimes, like when I was getting a lot of hats out of the bins and I was taking pictures in the bins hats, I mean, someone would hit me up and be like, hey, I'll take 3 of those hats for X amount of dollars right now. I would be like, all right, I don't have to clean them. You know the shape they're in. This is what you want. I'll do it. You know what I mean? Just a quick. I know what I have in them. I know what they cost me. I know I'm going to make money. So sometimes I'll just move them quickly and see if I can't just get rid of them. So I'll definitely do that too. It's a lot about time for me. I mean, I know I have to sit in front of the computer and spend times listing, but if I can, get away with posting something on Instagram and taking a friends and family payment, I'm all about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Like, yeah, you can't beat the friends and family. I typically don't do, like, people want to be paid through friends and family, and I'm just like, I'll pay that extra 4% invoice. Like,
I will pay the extra 4% invoice if I'm buying. But I mean, like, if I was buying something from you, I know you're going to send it to me. Like, I'm not like, if I came to you and was like, oh, you got something I want, here, I'll make a friends and family payment because it's easy on you. And I mean, it's just, I know you're going to send it to me. So there's certain people that have done deals with me before, and they know they're going to get their stuff. So it's not a big deal to send.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like I was telling you about that guy earlier, Brad JPG, that I'm supposed to meet up next week. I bought a few items off of him, and I was like, dude, I'll just send you friends, family invoice, like whatever. He also he sent me a 1920s Champion wool sweater that he wants me to sell, and we're just gonna.
It's got the arrow. It's got the guy with the bow and arrow on it. It's got the guy with the bow and arrow on it.
No, it's a plain. So it's a plain red crew neck sweater. Well, it's like sort of crew neck.
Does the tag have the guy with the bow and arrow?
Oh yeah, I believe the tag's a little gnarled. I have to look again, but yeah, he said it's from like the 1920s and 1930s. It has some leather elbow patches. It's a pretty tight piece.
Yeah, I think the earliest Champion had the, like, they call it the, I forgot the name they call it, but it's an archer on the. It's like a guy shooting. He's an archer on the tag.
If you give me literally 45 seconds, and everyone in the live chat give me 45 seconds, I can grab that piece real quick.
Yeah, that's cool. Grab it.
All right, I'll be back in like 45 seconds. Just hit up the live chat and talk about.
Yeah, I need to get up to the live chat and see that because I'm not currently in it, so I don't see what anyone's saying yet. Working on that for you guys though. Thank you for everyone for tuning in tonight, though. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and checking it out. Requested you. I don't know. Mine's not working. Right. I can't see him. Let me see let me see the tag on it.
So it looks like a runner.
Oh, that one is early, man. Yeah, that still probably was the guy with the arrow. I don't know if it just was worn off. That's an early tag, man. I don't even think that.
Dude, it's sick. Like it's in very good condition. There's a little cracking on the leather here, but dude, he was like, I know that you can probably sell it faster than me. So he got it from the bins actually. and he sent it to me and was like, dude, I'll split the profits with you. I have it posted for $500 or $600.
Really? Is there watchers on it?
What?
Is there any watchers on it or anything?
I think I have like 9 or 10 on eBay.
Really? Yeah, that thing is sick, man.
So I cross-posted on eBay, Grailed, Etsy. It's on Poshmark also. Like, I'm trying to hit every single eyeball.
Yeah, no, that thing is totally sick, man. That tag is super early. Like with Champion, the earlier it is, the more sought after it is too. Champion like has come back in a real way. Like Champion has got really hot. I
just sold some Michigan State like Champion dad shorts to some dude in Canada on Grailed. And they sold for like $30. I was like, these things are not good.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen with the whole Champion wave and why it got so hot, because literally anytime I think about Champion, all I think about is my grandfather used to wear Champion, and I think like he only shopped at Walmart and wore water shoes. So like I don't know. I don't know why.
He's just the dad of all dads.
Oh my! And he could fix anything, and it would take him like 2 tools, but he would always wear Champion stuff, and no matter what it didn't matter what day it was, didn't matter what was going on. He would wear water shoes as regular shoes because he thought they were comfortable. So anytime I think about Champion, that's what comes to mind.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I do the live thrift hauls, I always call them the dad shorts. That my dad would be rocking the crew neck, pulled up with the sleeves, and then those short Champion cotton shorts.
Yeah, for sure. It's just funny.
So someone in the chat said that the tag's from the 1940s. Earlier, we both did some research on it, and I think the tag was actually from anywhere from the 1920s to 1930s, actually.
That one, I'll send you a picture of that in my DM after we're done with this.
Yeah, definitely I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys don't follow, I'm probably going to try to get another guy on here, that Brad JPJ or G. He's cool. He's from Michigan too. But yeah, he's trying to get into full-time reselling. I think he has a full-time job right now. But yeah, he's all right, guys. If you guys have any more questions for him, hurry up and get him in the live chat.
No, I do appreciate it. I appreciate any time you guys sit here and listen to what I have to say, like I'm important or something, but I'm really not.
Dude, this is fun. I love talking I mean, especially, I think we're in the minority here, being men's only resellers. So I'm trying to kind of turn my channel into that market of men's clothing.
Is that the community on Instagram, there's literally so many things, there's so many people that have so many different niche markets that like you can learn so many varieties of things just by following people on Instagram, you know, like, oh, I saw that on someone's Instagram feed the other day. I think that's worth money. You know what I mean? Like there's so many times I've been into a thrift store, I'm like, oh, I saw someone selling that the other day on eBay. Let me look at that, you know?
All right, so there's one last question that we'll leave on. Patty asks, your favorite place to source in general? Is it regular thrift stores, bins, estates?
Without a doubt, the bins. I have a love for digging through piles of stuff, and I just love picking at the bins. I can hang out. I was on vacation in Florida for like my birthday, and I spent 2 full days at the bins because I love the bins that much. Like I just love digging through people's old shit and finding gems. Like I just love the disorganization and the treasure hunt that goes with the bins. I just like the bins. It's nice flipping through organized t-shirt racks and stuff. I mean, I love that, but I really love digging through people's old shit and the disorganization of the Goodwill outlet.
See, I've never been to the bins actually, so next week's gonna be my first time ever at them.
You're gonna get hooked, man. I mean, literally, just like price you pay for stuff is so crazy. I mean, the feeling of walking out of the bins with something you paid a quarter for that you know you're gonna list for $180 is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, Nicole, I was talking with Nicole last week, and she was like, yeah, you're gonna get, or maybe it was earlier this week, all my days blend together now. She was telling me that I'm gonna get addicted. So
yeah, you're gonna, like, you seen Secondhand Swagger drives 2.5 hours to get to the bins.
Dude, that guy.
I've talked to him a few times. I've been in his town a few times. You're supposed to link up and hang out, man. He's such a cool guy, man. He kills it. He's literally one of the hardest working dudes ever. Like, if you don't follow Secondhand Swagger on Instagram, which I'm sure everyone does by now, but that guy is an animal, man. He kills it. He constantly works.
Yeah, he's literally driving 3 hours one way. Like, he posts And I'm just like, dude, I don't know how, like, that's 6 hours of driving every single day.
That's a lot of money in gas too, so you got to figure it's worth it for him, you know?
Yeah, honestly, like, I always wondered why he just doesn't move, though. I mean, I guess if you're out in the boonies in North Carolina and you want the quiet, like, I can understand that. But, like, dude, no one could pay me enough to drive 3 hours one way.
Right there, the moving thing, probably. Maybe he's considering that. I don't know, but yeah, that's a hell of a drive. It's a hell of a drive.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, his wife runs a Harry Potter account that has over 100,000
followers, and they get all that stuff for like pennies on the dollar and sell it for like $10 each. She's got 100,000 followers. I saw. They kill it, man. They literally do. They're another one of those couples, just like States Place, Joe and Nicole. I mean, they really kill it, man.
Yeah, dude. I need to find myself a reseller woman that loves just only selling women's clothing, and I could build an empire.
But that is what you need, man. Come on, man. You're single and on the market, man. What's going on here? You look,
dude.
You seem like
it's hard out here. It's hard.
Come on.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, AJ, for taking time out of your day.
Seriously, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. If you guys don't follow him, he's Picking Vintage on Instagram. Do you have any other social media that people might?
Mainly Instagram is what I use. It's Picking Vintage, all one word, just no spaces, no uppercase letters, just Picking Vintage, all one word.
Yeah, it's in my description in the video. So if you guys don't catch that, it's at Picking Vintage. So thanks everybody for coming out. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up button, do that. Show me a little love. Show a little love to AJ. And hit the subscribe button if you're already not subscribed, and follow both of us on Instagram. All that's in the description. Have a good night, everyone, and happy reselling.